9 Common XML Errors in EMIR Reporting. EMIR reporting uses an XML file structure, replacing the previous CSV format. Unlike CSV, XML uses an embedded schema and validation system sourced from XSD schema files. In simpler terms, when you create an EMIR reporting XML file, it gets checked against a specific set of formatting and data rules outlined in the XSD file. If your XML file doesn't follow these rules, you'll run into errors. Let's go through some of the most common errors and their causes. Error 1. Element XYZ is not allowed at this location. This error happens when an element is positioned somewhere it shouldn't be, according to the XSD schema. Usually, this is due to elements being ordered or nested incorrectly. Take the derivatives report, for example. In this report, all action types, like newt, modi, value, term, POSC, EROR, core, and revi, must include 3 specific elements in a precise order as defined by the XSD schema. If these elements are not in the correct order, such as, if level appears before counterparty-specific data or common trade data, this error will occur. The same thing happens if an unexpected element, like XYZ, is found within the action type's nested structure. Traction's XML generator is designed to strictly follow the XSD schema, ensuring that elements are always in the correct order and no unexpected elements appear in the output XML. Error 2. XYZ has a missing child element ABC. This error occurs when an element is missing some of the required child elements specified by the XSD schema. This often happens because of missing data in Traction's client's input files, whether from their trading platform or back-office system. For example, in a derivatives report, the transaction data element is supposed to include a specific child element called subsequent position UTI. If subsequent position UTI is missing from the XML output, this error will be triggered. For instance, if the client's input data is incomplete, it can lead to missing elements in the XML output. To catch this, Traction's XML generator includes a missing elements flagger that alerts us when this error occurs. Error 3. Invalid Boolean value for an element. This error occurs when an element's value doesn't match the expected XSD Boolean values. For example, the reporting obligation field must use lowercase true or false. If it's populated with uppercase true or false, it will trigger an error. Error 4. Invalid decimal value scientific notation. This error happens when an element with a decimal type contains an invalid value, often due to the presence of scientific notation. This usually occurs if the client's input data is truncated or improperly formatted. For example, if an XML element like amount, which is defined as a decimal type, contains a value in scientific notation, it will cause an error. Error 5. Pattern constraint violation. This error occurs when an element's value doesn't match the pattern specified in the XSD schema. This is commonly seen with fields like the UTI, where a specific pattern must be followed. For example, the UTI must follow a specific format up to 52 alphanumeric characters, and only the uppercase characters, uppercase A to uppercase Z, and the digits 0 to 9 are allowed. Error 6. Enumeration constraint violation. This error occurs when an element's value doesn't match one of the predefined options specified in the XSD schema. Enumeration constraints limit the values to a specific set of choices, and any value outside that set will fail validation, including values that may have been valid under a prior reporting regime. For example, the valuation method field is restricted to 3 predefined values: central counterparty valuation, mark-to-market valuation, and mark-to-model valuation. Any value outside of these options will trigger an error. Error 7. Missing required attribute. This error happens when an element is missing a required attribute specified by the XSD schema, as attributes provide supplementary data attached to an element. The XSD schema can mandate that certain attributes must always accompany certain elements. This is often seen in amount or price fields, where certain attributes are mandatory. For example, in EMIR reporting, all price fields like price, strike price, and notional amount require the currency attribute when the price is expressed as a monetary value, not as a percentage or basis points. If the amount is provided without the currency attribute, an error will be triggered, indicating that the amount element is missing the required currency attribute. Error 8. Invalid date or time format. This error occurs when a date or time value doesn't match the format specified by the XSD schema. The XS date-time type requires a specific format, like year, month, day, hours, minute, and seconds. Any deviation from this format will trigger an error. In the example shown, the space separator and absent time zone suffix both violate the XS date-time pattern. Error 9. Exceeding maximum length constraint. This error occurs when the length of a string element or attribute exceeds the maximum length defined in the XSD schema. The max length facet specifies the allowed number of characters. For example, in the EMIR XSD schema, the unique transaction identifier element is limited to a maximum length of 52 characters. The incorrect example shown contains 59 characters, whereas the correct example sits well within the constraint at 31 characters. With the added complexity of XML and XSD validations in trade reporting, errors can originate from data quality issues, format mismatches introduced during data processing, or even the schema structure itself. Identifying the root cause quickly is critical to maintaining timely and accurate submissions. Firms that lack dedicated XML expertise often find value in working with a specialist reporting partner to manage this complexity on an ongoing basis. If you think you could benefit from this kind of support, contact Traction for help. Traction, Trade Reporting Simplified.